out next to the ocean, Daytona is a playground for families and spring breakers. But just a few miles from the ocean's tide, the house where adrenaline and ambition collide. The trucks, the latest chapter now.
Was born where the tradition now is being carried on at the new Daytona International Speedway.
It'll make the strongest man on earth cry when you win this race.
Daytona 500! Daytona 500!
We are going to be able to go green in the inaugural running of the Daytona 250.
Yeah, that feeling never gets old, does it, Bill? Hearing those motors fire up and take the green flag at Daytona.
This is Daytona.
Whoa! Oh, look out! We got trouble. This is going to hurt.
Do you ever think you'd be in victory lane at Daytona?
Oh, I never thought so.
Bodine pinned to the bottom of the racetrack. Carling's advantage.
This is victory lane Daytona. We're going to be here all night long.
The shootout is in the books. The duel has been dealt. All that's left, tell Mother Nature to lighten up. The trucks, they are on the edge and ready to race. The first setup, presented by Polaris, is on. We're back. Hello, everyone. I'm Krista Voda. Welcome to the very first setup of the 2010 season. I know I usually wear hats for style. Trust me, tonight it is all about function. Rain has been canceling things all day long. Sprint Cup practice wiped out. Nationwide qualifying, no way. The trucks, they are the toughest of all. So as of right now, we are ready to race. The jet dryers have been on the track trying to dry things as we speak. You know, nothing can dampen Kyle Busch's spirits. He is beaming like a proud papa. Following in the footsteps of Tony Stewart and Kevin Harvick, tonight Kyle Busch will make his debut as an owner. It's the first piece of an ever-changing 2010 Camping World Truck Series puzzle.
Last December, Kyle Busch announced that he would be starting his own truck team for the 2010 season. Since Brian Scott was parking his truck to go nationwide racing, Busch bought the assets of the number 16 Express Motorsports team. Scott's crew chief Jeff Hensley is staying in the Truck Series as the new crew chief for Timothy Peters. The Truck Series winningest crew chief Rick Wren is leaving Kevin Harvick Incorporated to become the general manager of Kyle Busch Motorsports. Also leaving the 2009 championship team is truck chief Danny Stockman. Richard Childress Racing named Stockman crew chief for rookie Austin Dillon in the number 3 truck. Kyle Busch was hoping to have a 3-truck team this year, but was unable to secure sponsorship for Johnny Benson. The 2008 Truck Series champion will now be sharing seat time with Lance Fenton in the Team Gill Racing number 95. Kyle Busch Motorsports' only full-time driver this year is Taylor Malsom. Crew chief for the 56 will be Dan Stillman, who spent the past year as Carl Edwards' nationwide crew chief. Malsom vacated his seat in the number 81 at Randy Moss Motorsports, which will now be occupied by David Starr. KBM's second truck will be driven by owner Kyle Busch and his Billy Ballou teammate from last year, Brian Eichler. Crew chief Eric Phillips is leaving Mike Skinner's 5 truck to move to the 18. Skinner picked up Gene Need from the Cup Series to be his crew chief and International as his new sponsor. Along with his longtime sponsor, Rick Crawford is also losing his longtime crew chief. Kevin Cowboy Starland is now the crew chief for the number 15, driven by Eric Almirola at Billy Ballou Motorsports, the same team that Kyle Busch drove for the past 5 years.
What a great refresher for the 2010 season. Some other stories to keep tabs on. Ron Hornaday this year going for a 5th title. Now here at Daytona, Todd Bodine has a streak of his own. He's looking for a 3rd trip to victory lane. We told you the number 3 is back, driven by the grandson of Richard Childress, Austin Dillon. And Johnny Benson and Ted Musgrave, 2 of our former champions back in the field. We love it. So where do we even begin? I mean, with the old champs or the new faces, we haven't even talked about our front row for tonight. Ray Dunlap and Adam Alexander are back in the pits covering all the stories. No one knows these drivers and the Truck Series like these two. Ray, let's go ahead and start with you.
Well, thank you, Krista. You know, when we looked at that piece about who was going where, the one thing that was missing from that is the fact that Roush Racing is not a part of the Camping World Trucks this year. After 16 seasons and some 700 and some starts, Jack Roush will not have an entry. Well, not really, but there is a presence from his trucks in the past, and one of those is driven by this guy. This is Jason White, who got his first career pole with one of those Roush trucks, and I'll tell you what, your smile hasn't stopped since they said you're the fastest truck here.
Well, I tell you what, the whole team here at S&S Greenlight, Gunbroker.com, Ford. I mean, it's a Ford here, and this thing's a rocket ship, man. We went and bought a great truck, and they gave us a great engine, and we're really excited to getting this race on. Hopefully this rain will quit, and we'll get after it tonight. But if not, we'll have a great race for the fans tomorrow night.
Jason, when we looked at last year, we had 5 or 6 times where you had really, really great runs, but this may be your biggest opportunity. Have you thought about it? Any extra pressure?
Oh, for sure. I mean, you know, to be able to come down here in Daytona and sit on the pole, it is unbelievable. It's a dream come true. Now we'd like to go out there and get our first win. But we had some great runs last year, but we think we got a pretty good truck this year, and we're going to be a team to contend with.
We're going to have a lot of fun watching him. Jason White on the pole. He's hoping to make a name for himself this year, but last year there was one guy who was just absolutely unbeatable.
And Hornaday turns the wick up one more time.
The real history is being made. Ron Hornaday will win 5 races in a row.
Ron Hornaday, talking about the knots in his stomach, they increase even more now.
Celebrating for the 4th time in Ron Hornaday Jr.'s career. He's going to be a NASCAR Camping World Series champion.
There are many words that would describe 2009 for Ron Hornaday, a 4-time champ now, those 5 consecutive victories in the middle part of the season, and his one focus for 2010, win a 5th series championship. And I guess the word for now is going to be patience, Ron, because it looks like Mother Nature saying you're going to have to wait to defend your title.
Yeah, you guys are a little late. I'd be in my Camping World RV right now if you guys, before this rain started, but just can't wait to get started. And, you know, you get down and the track was getting dry, and all of a sudden it started raining again. But that's part of it. This to be the first one that NASCAR hadn't got off. I mean, I've always had a lot of faith in them, and every time they say we're going to get it off, it's like, nah, they get it off. So it'll be a lot of fun if we get to race.
An off season after a 4th title, was it any different in preparation as you come back for 2010?
Not at all. Working on the grandkids quarter midgets. Kevin Delana building new trucks, getting ready for 2010. So not really. Just it was too long. I know that. I mean, when you had a year like that, you just want to get back to the track and keep on racing and keep the momentum going. So just really thankful that Longhorn come back with Moist Snuff and Chevrolet, and with the ECR motors this year, we're going to have a lot of fun.
The one difference for your team last year, there weren't many changes from 08 to 09. That not the case entering 2010. Rick Wren is gone, Dave Fuge, your new crew chief. Talk about the chemistry between you two guys over the last few weeks as you prepare for Daytona.
Well, Dave and I have worked together before. I've won a race at Homestead in his truck when Mike Bliss won the championship. So Dave comes back, you know, racing our Southwest Tour days together, and it looked like we got the whole West Coast over there at KHI. So he works great with Doug George, Ernie Cope, and all them guys at KHI and Corelli. So, I mean, that's what it takes, is just everybody gelling together, and Dave and I, we get along great.
There have been a number of changes at Kevin Harvick Incorporated in the offseason. Ron Hornaday, the one mainstay that gives him a shot at that 5th title, Krista.
And Adam, Ron talked about how he has just been itching to go. He mentioned his Camping World RV. That's where all the drivers have been all day because they have been seeing weather like this. It has literally been pouring all day. At about 5:49, it let up, and the jet dryers hit the track immediately. But as we came out to bring you the setup presented by Polaris, well, the rains came back down. So now we continue to wait. But you know, dealing with weather, something that a lot of you folks who are watching us right now in the Mid-Atlantic have been dealing with all week. We know you're digging out of snow. We're trying to keep our toes dry from rain. So we thank all of you for joining us, and we know the drivers yourselves, you're ready for the 2010 season. We'll have more here from Daytona, try to talk to some more drivers, give you an update of what's going on. The crews, they're not stopping anytime soon. We'll be back here on Speed. The setup is presented by Polaris, the hardest working, smoothest riding off-road vehicles, now at your local dealer. Brought to you in part by Camping World, introducing the all-new Coleman travel trailers, now available at Camping World. And by Hershey's Milk and Milkshakes. Try a new way to indulge in Hershey's. Back here at the Daytona International Speedway, where Mother Nature is and continues to be the big story. And yes, that is us. We are under shelter, so I actually am in a much better position right now than guys like Ray Dunlap, Adam Alexander, and some of our drivers, they are out braving the elements, as are the crews who have already been setting up the pit boxes. We thought we were going racing, and as of right now, we still are. The rains have been here all day long here in Daytona, from morning until about 5:30. That's when it let up. The jet dryers got out on the track immediately, but yes, it is raining here again as of right now. But you know, Daytona, it's a special race, not just because it's our first race, it's one of the toughest. Rick Allen, Phil Parsons, Michael Waltrip, they know that too well. Michael Waltrip, one of the happiest guys in the world 24 hours ago because he's in the Daytona 500. I know you guys are ready to go truck racing.
Yeah, we are. I tell you what, we've talked a little bit about the main topic of this season has been changes thus far. I mean, we've got the new pit road rules, the changes there. We've got the restart procedures that have changed. So a lot of things are changing.
One thing that hasn't changed are the trucks. The trucks themselves are just like they were, 3 wide running here at Daytona. Cannot wait for this race to get going here. Mother Nature's kind of holding us back a little bit, but Michael, there's no better racing on earth than the trucks here at Daytona.
No, when you win the race, there's going to be somebody beside you. Wonder if there's going to be somebody on both sides of you. But you know what's changed today that's hurt people the most? This darn weather. About 5:30, 6 o'clock, these guys got excited. You got to get up for an event like tonight. You got to be all in. And these guys were excited. They were ready to race. And then just minutes ago, it started raining. All that energy and all that excitement, right down the tube. I was at my motorhome, and I looked out the window, and a little rubber ducky floated by. I mean, it has flooded here today.
Yeah, it's been raining all day long. Now, obviously, disappointment for guys like Jason White or Elliott Sadler, 2 guys that were going to start up front. Are we going to see those guys be able to hold on to their position, or are we going to see guys moving from front to back and back to front in this race?
It's like it says in the Bible, he who is first will be last, and he who is last will be first. And I'm paraphrasing.
In a truck race.
I'm paraphrasing there, but it's going to be just like that. Jason can't think he's going to stay up front every lap. Elliott Sadler's got a great truck, but he can't stay there. You have to have strategy. There's going to be differing pages there that people will try to play out. So, and you know, they're still going to be pumped up. They just got to wait 24 hours, it looks like.
And because of the design of these trucks, the people that are starting in the back know that they have a chance to win this race. There's no doubt in their mind that they can win this race. I think Rick Crawford started 19th and won this race back in 2003. So nobody is out of contention.
Kyle Busch is going to start 16th, and we know that Kyle Busch has got a good enough truck that he can make his way to the front. Although he's never won at this racetrack. He's finished twice second to Todd Bodine. Krista?
Yeah, and guys, I do not mean to be the one to burst your bubble up there. I know you're excited to go racing, but it is official. NASCAR just calling this race will be postponed until tomorrow. Our coverage here on Speed begins at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. That's tomorrow with the setup. We will still have the setup before we go racing. The Nextera Energy Resources 250 here at Daytona will be tomorrow, Saturday, on Speed. And I know these guys were just itching to go, and that includes the guy standing by with Ray.
Well, Krista, I have to tell you, it's a girl, not a guy. I'm with Jennifer Jo Cobb. You know, this week at Daytona, it's really been Danica mania, but I think they may be overlooking one very talented female. You have been doing TV all day. When I woke up this morning, I saw you on Orlando TV about 7:30. Officially now the race is going to be tomorrow night, so sorry you had a wasted day, but tell me about your expectations of the race when we do get to go racing here in Daytona.
You know, I had somebody, I don't even know who he is, I'm so new in the garage, in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series garage, but somebody pulled me over and said, what do you think about this? Let's just get 4 or 5 of us together, avoid the wreck, and then charge them at the end. And I said, I think that's a great idea, but did I just give away my strategy? Is that?
Well, you better figure out which driver it is so you know who to hook up with.
No, here's what I said. I said, talk to Mike Harmon, because he's going to be in my ear telling me, I said, Mike, your job is just to pilot me through like you did last week. Mike and Denise Harmon Mixon were my spotters, and I trust those guys so much. He goes, Mike said, I've never had a woman talk or listen to me as much as you listen to me. And I said, well, Mike, that's only on the track, sweetie.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. Let's check in with Adam. I think he's caught up with a guy who was second in points last season.
It was an incredible 2009 for Matt Crafton, Ray, and you and I were talking last night about how anxious you are to get going because of the hunger of finishing second, and now you got to wait another day. How tough is that?
That's very tough. I mean, it's like, gotta love coming racing at Daytona, and especially doing it under the lights. But I think we're gonna do it under the lights tomorrow night, so we're gonna get to do it, but just gotta wait another 24 hours to do it. But I mean, our Menards Herculiner Chevy didn't qualify quite where we wanted it to, because things what we brought last year here, and it qualified second, and it was a little off single run speed, but pretty happy with it race run, and we've got plenty of time to get that thing up front.
I would guess the bar of expectation pretty high at Thorsport with your season coupled with how Johnny finished the year in 2009.
Yeah, it's very, very high. I mean, there's nothing else but winning races and having a shot at the championship. The championships, I mean, very realistic. I know we can do it. You just got to be lucky. I mean, you got to have everything fall your way. I mean, you can win 6, 7 races and have 4 bad races, not win the championship. I mean, that's how tough this series is. I mean, having great competitors out there like Ron Hornaday and stuff we race against. I mean, you can't slip. You can't have very many bad races. We had a really good season last year. We only didn't complete, I think it was 2 laps, and still come up 180 points short. So just everything's got to go our way, and we'll definitely be there at the end.
Matt Crafton, the model of consistency in 2009, Krista.
Absolutely. He and his teammate Johnny Sauter are going to be very tough, I think, to beat this year. And they have a third Thorsport truck in this field with Landon Castle, so you'll have to keep your eye on that. But you'll have to wait until tomorrow. It is official. NASCAR has called the race tonight. That means we will go Truck Series Racing, Camping World Truck Series Racing here at Daytona tomorrow, Saturday, beginning with the setup at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. The Nextera Energy Resources 250. You will still see it, and you will still see it on speed. It will be tomorrow on Saturday. Of course, we need to get you revved up to go racing at Daytona. We're going to do that by showing you last year's race here at Daytona, the 2009 race. Determination decides dreams, only at Daytona, next on Speed.